All right, guys, we're going to read this article called How Much Does College Cost and Why Is It Still Worth It? So, you should have a copy in front of you. You're going to do what I'm doing on your paper. So, you don't have a digital copy like mine. Yours is on paper. So, whatever I do, or whatever I tell you to do, you're going to do it on your piece of paper. So, first off, you're going to want to go through the article with your highlighter, and I want you to highlight the title, the author, every paragraph number, and every subtitle. So follow along as I do it. You're going to do it with your highlighter. So you're going to highlight your title with your highlighter. So yours should look like that. You're going to highlight the author. Do that. All right, and let's go through and highlight every paragraph. Paragraph 1, paragraph 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, so you have highlighted all of the paragraphs. You should have 12 numbers highlighted. Let's go through it again and highlight the subtitles. So the first chunk is called The Average Cost of Tuition. Go ahead and highlight that. Go down to the next chunk, which is called Data Indicates That College Degree is Still Worth It. So you're going to highlight that with your highlighter. And lastly, we'll go down here. Certain degrees may have higher returns than others. And you're going to highlight that one. All right, so as you can see, there's boxes here after every chunk that says who or what, did what, where, when, why, or how. And I'm going to tell you what to do with that shortly. After we read each chunk, you're going to write a word or two, or a short sentence that answers each of those questions. And the purpose of that is to help you identify the main idea of each chunk, because you're going to end up writing a 3C on each chunk. So before we do that, we want to read it and make sure we understand everything in the article so that you can identify the main idea. So let's go back to the beginning, and I'll read it. You follow along with your copy, and I'm going to highlight certain words and write different things on the computer, and you'll do the same thing on your paper. Okay, so you're going to write it to the side on the margins. Whenever I type something, you'll write it on your paper. So here we go, paragraph 1. The ever-increasing college costs probably have most of us scratching our heads, wondering if a college degree is really worth it. Will we really get a return on our investment? Before we answer that question, let's take a look at what a real price tag for college actually is these days. All right, so in that first paragraph, there's a couple words that I want you to pay attention to. So the first one is investment. All right, so I want you to highlight that word, investment. It says, will we get a return on our investment? And an investment is when you put money into something and you want to get something in return. So in this case, your investment is going to be your education. So on the side of your paper, I want you to draw an arrow from the word investment to the right side of your paper and just write investment equals education. So what it's saying is that you are investing in yourself, right? And the question is asking, if you pay for college, after you paid all that money, in the end, will you come out with more money than you spent for college? So that's what that is really asking. Okay, so let's go down to paragraph two. So paragraph two, the chunk is called the average cost of tuition. There's another word that we want to identify. So tuition, it means the cost of college classes, right? So how much does it cost to go to college? So tuition's another word for cost. All right, so let's go to read paragraph two. According to the College Board, the average cost of tuition and fees may include the library, campus transportation, student government, and athletic facilities. So when you go to college, when you're paying money, you have access to the library, you have access to the buses around the school, and you have buses to the facilities. So if you want to play basketball, you can go play basketball. If you want to lift weights, you can lift weights. So all that money goes towards those facilities. For the 2016-2017 school year, was $33,480 at a private college. So at a private college, it will cost you $33,000 a year to attend college. At a state public college, which is like Cal State San Bernardino, it'll cost you $9,650. That's a big difference, right, from a private college to a state college. And lastly, $24,930 for out-of-state residents attending public universities. So that means if you are from California and you wanted to go to college in, let's say, New York, the cost for you would be $24,000 because you're not a resident of that state. If you lived in New York, it would be $9,000, but since you're from California, it'll cost you $24,000. So it's always cheaper to go to college at a public college that's in your state. A private college over here where it says $33,000, that one would be a college at USC or the University of Redlands. It just means that the college is not controlled by the state. Okay, so a public college would be Cal State San Bernardino. All right, let's go on. Paragraph 3. These numbers do not include housing, meals, books, or school supplies, which could easily tack on another $10,000 to $16,000 a year. If you add a room and board to yearly tuition and fee averages, a private nonprofit four-year college costs $45,370, while a public four-year costs $20,000. So let's review. If you went to Cal State San Bernardino for $9,000, that only includes your classes. That doesn't include anything else. So if you want to go there and you want to get other things like housing, which means where you're going to sleep, meals, what are you going to eat, books for your classes, and school supplies, you have to add another $10,000. So on average, if you went to Cal State for a year, it'll cost you $20,000. Now multiply that by 4, right? Because you're in college for 4 years and you're looking at a really hefty bill. So if we did that, you would be paying $80,000 for 4 years of college. Okay, that's a lot of money. No wonder the student debt crisis has toppled $1.3 trillion. And I want you to highlight this word called debt, student debt. What that means is money that students owe back, right? So that means money you have to pay back. You remember we talked about a scholarship and a loan? When you have debt, that means you owe money. All right, so if you are taking $20,000 every year, you're going to owe $80,000, right? Unless you happen to get $80,000 in scholarship, but most of us can't. So going to college at the cheapest, it could cost you up to $80,000, right? That's a lot of money. All right, let's go to paragraph 4. Footing the college bill can be a tough pill to swallow when you couple the cost with the fact that we see graduates around us out of work. While I'm not recommending students pick up unnecessary loan debt, I do think there is enough evidence to encourage our children to go to school or go to college. It's possible that your child may join the ranks of highly successful entrepreneurs that don't have college degrees, but there is just a very small fraction of people who are going to become the next Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, or Richard Branson. These success stories are few and far between, and what these business leaders lacked in formal education, they more abundantly made up for in the entrepreneurial skills, business savviness, drive, and passion. So, what this paragraph is saying is that there are some people who don't need college, like these millionaires, right? So, Bill Gates, or I should say billionaires, Bill Gates created Microsoft, right? It's a program for computers. Steve Jobs created iPhone, right? These are guys who didn't necessarily need college because they made a lot of money with their products. But most people aren't going to do that, right? So you need to be able to go to college. And this article is saying, or this chunk is saying that it's very expensive, right? At least 20,000 a year. Okay, so um, in this box right here, we want to identify what we just read. Okay, so I want you to press pause, and I want you to answer these questions. Right? Who or what was this section about? What did they do? Where did it happen? When did it happen? And why or how? Okay, so I'm going to do the first one with you. So if I had to determine what did I just read about, like what was this about, I'm going to write this was about the cost of tuition. So you can go ahead and write that in your box, right? I think we all agree these 5 paragraphs were talking about how much school costs. And what did it say about tuition? It said that it is becoming expensive, right? It's very expensive, even if you go to a cheap school. Where is this happening? It's happening in colleges here, right? And we are here in America, United States. That's where it's happening. But in reality, it's happening all over the world. Okay, when is it happening? If we go back up here, it said in 2016 and 17, so that's when this article is happening. So right where it says when, I want you to write 2016 to 2017. And why is everything so expensive? Well, it says that because meals, right, housing, food, books, all those factors will contribute to the cost of tuition going up, right? It's expensive. So make sure you go ahead and write that. I'll give you a second to write that. All right, let's go to our next chunk. This says data indicates that a college degree is still worth it. So, with that saying, that there's information that shows that even though it's expensive, it's still worth going to college. So, let's see what it says. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the pay gap between those with a 4-year degree and those with a high school degree is at a record high. So, what this is saying, so I want you to highlight this pay gap between those with a 4-year degree and a high school degree is at a record high. What that's saying is that you will make more money if you have a degree from college, right? That's what that's saying. So that's kind of an argument that they're making there. People who go to college, you will make more money if you have a degree from college instead of one from high school, right? If you only go to high school, your jobs and opportunities will be limited. So what this is arguing is that college will get you more money. Now let's go on. With those with a 4-year college degree earn a median weekly salary of $1,137, whereas employees with a high school degree average only $678. The difference is even higher when comparing employees with doctoral degrees. And by doctoral degrees, go ahead and highlight that. That just means a PhD, which is a degree that you'll get if you go to school for 10 years, right? So if you have one of those PhDs, you're going to make a weekly salary. So in 1 week, on average, those people will make $1,623 versus someone with no college degree, or they'll make only $738, right? So you can see the big difference. It's almost double the amount of money. So would you rather make $700 with only some college or some high school, Or would you rather make $1,600 because you went to college, right? You basically doubled your money. I don't know about you, but I prefer more money. Okay, so let's go to paragraph 7. In fact, not only will college graduates make more money, but not going to college could cost you dearly to the tune of $1 million in lifetime wages. So that's another sentence you want to highlight. This is a good piece of evidence saying over your lifetime, college grads will make 1 million more than non-grads. That's a big difference, right? If you went to college, you're going to make 1 million more dollars than somebody who didn't go to college. I know it seems like a lot of money, but trust me, you're going to be working for 30 years, right? So that's a lot of money. While you may wonder, so let's pick up here. While you may wonder if these numbers apply to only graduates of Ivy League schools, Ivy League schools are those really, really prestigious schools that only the smartest, most intelligent people go to, like Harvard and Stanford. Right? That's an Ivy League school. So let's go ahead and highlight that. So make sure you understand that Ivy League schools. We're going to write very smart schools like Harvard or Stanford. So if those people who go to those schools, let's see what it says about them. The Economic Policy Institute numbers show that the benefits of college don't just go to graduates of elite colleges, but to all college graduates with a 4-year degree. So what it's saying is it doesn't matter what college you go to, but if you go to college and you get a degree, you are going to make $1 million more over your lifetime, right? And at least double the weekly salary, like it said up here, of somebody who just went to high school. Okay? Those with high school degrees face 17.9% unemployment versus 5.6% of college graduates. Let's highlight that sentence. What that's saying is if you go to college, you're going to have or how can I say this? If you go to high school only, you're going to be facing higher unemployment rates, which means that you may be without a job more often than somebody who went to college. Right? So let's highlight that sentence and write that on the side. College grads will have jobs more often. High school grads will be out of work more often. And that's a big deal, right? Because if you can't find a job, you're not making money. So people with college degrees, it's almost 1/3, right? 5.6% versus almost 20%. So that's a lot of people who don't have a job because they only have a high school degree. Okay, so people in college are more likely to find jobs. All right, paragraph 8. And nearly 1 in 7 high school graduates is stuck in a part-time job with entry-level wages and very few options for full-time employment. Okay, wages, let's highlight that word. Wages means the money you make. The money you make at your job. So what it's saying is when you only graduate high school, a lot of people who graduate high school are stuck in part-time jobs, meaning they don't even work all the time. So if they're not working all the time, they're making even less money than what it said up here, right? 738 is assuming you work 40 hours a week. But if you're working part-time, let's say you're only working 20 hours a week, then that's even less up here. You'll make probably like $400, right? You don't want to be in that position. All right? So now you saw what we did up here in that box, right? So what we did up here is we just wrote down a very short sentences, a couple words actually, to describe what this chunk was about. So we just read about data indicates that a college degree is worth it. All right? So go ahead and try to fill this in about what you just read. So who or what was this about? what did they do, where is this happening, when is this happening, and why or how is this happening. So go ahead and try to fill that in first by yourself and see what you come up with. All right, let's check and see if you got it right. So this section was about college graduates, and it was saying what do college graduates do? They actually make more money than non-grads, right? So it said that college graduates make more than non-grads. Where is this happening? Same place, right? It's happening in USA, or we can put America, either one. When is this happening? This is happening now, right? It's happening as we speak. So graduates now, this is happening to them. And why or how is this happening? It's happening because people with 4-year degrees are needed more than only high school degrees. So if your box doesn't look like this, you didn't write similar information, I encourage you to erase it and write what we have here so that you understand what that chunk was about. If yours is close or pretty similar to mine, then leave yours alone. Okay, you did a good job. But this is just for those who may have struggled identifying those aspects of this chunk. All right, now let's go to the last one. This chunk is called certain degrees may have higher returns than others. So what that's saying is that even though you go to college and you get a degree, the type of degree you get will affect how much money you make. So let's see what it says about which jobs make more money. So paragraph 9. Now that we've seen that a college degree is more than worth it, let's look at how the major you select can make a difference to your earnings down the road. A study released by Georgetown Center in Education and the Workforce reveals that the difference in lifetime wages for different majors is enormous. In fact, the difference between lifetime wages for the highest and lowest paying majors is 3.4 million. So let's highlight that sentence. Okay, that's a big deal as well. So it's saying that even though you're in college, you are all going to have different majors. Now, even within those people in college, there's a difference in pay, right? So let's write what it's saying. Huge difference in pay between different majors. And it's gonna tell us which majors make more money. So paragraph 10, the top paying majors, unsurprisingly, include STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and health and business. Okay, so I'm gonna highlight that. I want you to highlight that too. I want you to write highest paying jobs are STEM jobs. Okay, so when we think about that in real life, science, technology, that can be you're working with computers, you're working in the medical field, you're an engineer, you're building things, you're building like freeways, you're building streets, you're building buildings, anything like that related to science, technology, math is a major that will make a lot of money. Okay. Now here's the majors with the lowest. So these majors make less money, but still more than a high school student. The majors with the lowest median earnings are in education, arts, and social work. Okay, highlight that. These majors make less money than STEM. Okay, so these type of jobs, so this would be like a teacher, this would be somebody who's a musician, and when I say musician, I don't mean like a famous person like Drake or anyone like that. I mean a musician who works at a band that performs for plays or on a very small scale, right? I don't mean a celebrity. A social worker means somebody who works for maybe a therapy, right? They deal with mental health, or they deal with people who are struggling with depression. Counselor, something like anyone that works in that type of field will make less than somebody who is in technology or STEM. Okay, let's go on. So Georgetown study is chock full of great information that includes tools that allow you to see the average income in various fields based on the degree obtained. I definitely recommend taking some time to check it out. So, like I said before we go into paragraph 11, when you choose a major in 5 years, right, when you go to college, you want to pay attention to where you're choosing. If you choose a career in science, technology, engineering, and math, health, and business, you're probably going to make more money than somebody who is a teacher or somebody who's working for the city, right? So pick your majors wisely. All right, let's go to paragraph 11. Of course, it's extremely important to note that our economy needs both teachers and engineers. We need social workers just as we need accountants. It is easy to obsess over what major could make you the most money, but it's most important to find something that you enjoy and where you could excel in the field. All right, let's go ahead and highlight that. All right, what it's saying is uh, everything is not all about money, right? You want to make sure that you like your job. So pick something that you enjoy and you can do well at. So if you pick a job in science and technology but you hate it, you're probably only going to work there for a couple of years and then you're going to want a new job, right? So find a job. So even if you pick a job in education, arts, or social work, and maybe it makes less money, but at least you like it and you won't mind going to work every day. And trust me, as an adult, you want to have a job that you actually enjoy going to. Otherwise, you're going to want to quit and go somewhere else. Okay. So make sure you're finding a good job that you like. All right, paragraph 12. Have you ever wondered if a college degree is worth it? Before you decide that the price tag is too high, be sure to look at what the statistics show. If you are concerned about saving for college, check with a financial advisor to discuss a college saving strategy that is right for you. Okay, so now go down to your box. So once again, go ahead and fill this in. Based on what we read, who or what was this chunk about? What did it say that they did? Where is this happening? When is it happening? Why or how? So I'll give you a couple minutes to do that, and then I'll check in with you. All right, so this chunk was about STEM majors versus what's called humanities, which means art, social work, and all that stuff. Okay, and what did it say about STEM majors? STEM majors make more money, right? And where is this happening? Same place, right? USA. When is it happening? Now. And why or how is it happening? It didn't really say, right? It didn't say why, but I can tell you why, right? So those jobs are in demand more, meaning there's we need more people in those fields. So it's happening because STEM jobs are more in demand and simply they just pay more money. Okay, so what this chunk was saying that essentially if you're going to pick a major, you're going to want to pick one in STEM if you like it, right? Because it will make you more money. All right, so now that you read that, I want you to go through it again by yourself and highlight pieces of evidence that will help you understand each main idea even more. So if we go back to the first chunk, right, we didn't highlight anything here really besides student debt. You're going to want to go through and highlight information that is important in relation to the cost, right? So if I were you, I would highlight this sentence here, right, that talks about how much, and on the right, how much college costs. Okay, then maybe you want to go down and highlight how much it costs when you add food and supplies and books. All right, so go through each chunk and highlight more information that would be relevant to the main idea of each chunk, because shortly you're going to write a 3C on each chunk and you need to be able to find evidence. All right, so if you're looking for the main idea, I want you to highlight evidence that you can use for your main idea. All right, so go ahead and do that now. Go through all three chunks and highlight evidence of the main idea.